All right, Module 2, Tutorial C. We are going to write some code and use a custom HTML block to make some flip cards, right? So flip cards, fun little flip cards here. Right now, warning, flip cards can be hard to use well. So we don't want it just to be like, you just gotta click it, and there's no reason to, right? Which kind of, the visualization isn't great that I came up with. So anyhow, we are going to, we have to write code. So the question is, well, do you need to learn code? And we just talked about that in our slide deck, right? More you need code literacy in 2026. Thanks to AI, I have no qualms with using AI for code. I don't find coding to be that great. I love the end results that code brings me, right? So again, it's just another human tool. So what are we going to do here? Well, let's just see if we did want to write it as an HTML snippet. I mean, flip cards are common. Flippable cards, code snippet. You see, I already did this. Like W3 Schools has been around. I probably learned to code with this like over 20 years ago, this website. So this website's been around a long time. And you see here, a flip card, really, that's as simplest as we could get with some HTML. And then this would be its CSS. Now this CSS, so notice there's no JavaScript. That's because it works completely on a hover. And yeah, we could have a flip card work just on a hover, which then would on mobile work on focus, so it would still be a tap, right? But we probably want to add a little JavaScript to make it click. And on top of it, if you are trying to write this code on your own, well, you got to take care of then how do you lay out multiple flip cards, and then how do you responsibly lay them out, like say 3 on desktop, 1 on mobile. So that's all very learnable, and I think as you use AI to write code, you'll start kind of understanding it as long as you take the time to stop and understand how that works. But again, we're just going to kind of direct the code as if we're hiring someone to write the code for us. So let's start off figuring out what we're going to do. So we are going to, if I can find my content here, right, we're going to make flip cards about bird bills and functions. So let's make a, I'm going to make a new, instead of just writing in a chat window, I like to kind of write my long prompts like this in a different thing in case I screw up something, I want to go back, I accidentally hit return and make it start working. I just find it better to write it separately and then paste it in. So if we go to our we go to our home page, and we've got a couple of pages that are pertinent for today: coding basics for interactive storytelling, vibe coding for custom blocks, which I should call it prompting for. Yeah, I called it prompting here. I hate vibe coding. I kind of hate that term. Right. So first thing first, let's start with what are we trying to make. So yeah, I could copy this, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to go up here, all right, I want to create a flippable cards interactive where a user clicks to flip a card to reveal information on the back. Right, so that's how it works. What else do we need here? So let's first production context. Let's see what it is. So I will paste this in a custom block into tilde, self-contained HTML snippet with embedded CSS and JavaScript. We don't need the full HTML document. We definitely want it to scope all CSS, right? We don't want it to clash names with our builder and screw up things on our page. Do not use external libraries unless there's a strong reason. There really isn't for making flip cards. So I'll put that in. I'm gonna give myself a space here. All right, content. Use this sample content. And said, I'm gonna go ahead and describe exactly what I want to do here. So on the front of the cards, I want a square image. A square image. Use the place, I'm not going to put that in. I want a square image. On the front of the cards, I want a square image and a label title. How about a title of the type of bird bill. On the back, I want a sentence of description and another section that tells what types of birds have this bill type. I also want a small attribution. The images, okay, I already said the images are square. Okay, I want the text on front to be over the image, not under it. So like placed under it versus like on, like over the image, but at the bottom of the image. So I'm just directing where I want everything to go. Text on the back should center vertically, right? I like to do that. Let's do this. Here is some sample content. And so I'll just grab something here, put that in here, there, right? Okay. So some sample content. I still want to art direct a little more while we're here, even though I have it later in the thing. So I want this entire thing to be centered horizontally on the page, but I need to wrap the parts in Tilda's grid, which is 1160 pixels of content and 20 pixels margin left and right? So again, we know where it's going, so we're gonna intentionally write the code to be that way. Let's see what else we got going on here. Content, we did content. Editable content units, right? And we have two choices, right? We have either the repeatable HTML pattern or a JavaScript object or array. For this one, we're going to use this right here, the repeatable HTML pattern, right? We're going to be able to cut and paste and add more of these. I'm going to hit copy. I'm going to put that in there. Now, I noticed that's in here. I'm just going to get rid of this line right here. We have comments showing lines. Actually, too, I want to keep art directing up here. I'm going to move back up here. I forgot to talk about responsive or the layout, right? I want 3 cards per row on desktop, 2 on tablet, and 1 on mobile. There we go. So that's just a little more telling it what it wants to be. So we've got that. We know how we're going to do that. Appearance. Okay, so we should do a clear title. So we already started putting on appearance, right? Okay, I want a title. I'm going to put this in. I'm just going to go ahead and cut the, and a instructional paragraph. Above the cards. Let's see what else is next here. Asset optimization. Use replaceable image names. Do not use basic. I'm actually going to go one over. I'm going to go over. We have, let's just start with at least one placeholder image. So if you go to images.txt, I'll talk about images in a second, but I'm just going to grab this right here. Now, usually if I'm coding without this, I'd say this, like use replaceable file names. But since I already have some stuff set up for us, let's go ahead and do this. Let's go back over here, right? And I'm going to say, for the images, use this source for now, right? But then let's also come up here and say, do not use base64 add for it. Let's just take this part of it, copy it there. All devices. Let's just go ahead and take this as is, even though we already art directed it to do that. Accessibility, absolutely, right? Semantic HTML, buttons for actions, keyboard accessible, visible focus states, alt text, area. We want it all, right? Let's go ahead and just put that all in as is. And attribution, I'm just going to go ahead and grab that and we'll put it in. Actually, we'll just go grab it right here. so that it can just type it in for us and we don't have to bother with it. See, notice I always put things in quotes that I want it to take word for word. Output, right? So we want it to paste a custom HTML block. So there it is. There's our prompt. Not very short, right? It's not just make a flippable card. It's, you know, us telling it exactly what we want. I'm going to save this. Call this prompt. I'm going to replace because I had one in there. Copy. And then you got to mosey over to your favorite, how did I get there? Your favorite AI thing. I use chat because I pay for it and I think it's pretty good. It's very good at code. It's good at general stuff. It's not always right. I all the time tell it it's wrong. It probably hates me. It's going to rise up against me at some point. But okay, I pasted it in and now I'm going to let it do its magic, right? It's not magic. It's just probability. Code has been written. There's so much code. Code is a perfect thing, right? So, all right. So it did something weird here. It made part of it good and then part of it is outside. So if it does that to you, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know why I did that. We can fix that. Good enough, though. What is going on here? Why is it, see, it's uprising against me. Why is it giving me multiple things? I don't know what's going on there. Whoa. Okay. All right. Okay. Make this one code snippet I can cut and paste. So that's a weird. I've never actually had it do that for me, but there it is. That's the thing there, right? I could have cut and pasted it honestly, but I'm just being lazy because I could have cut and pasted it in parts, but I want it to be formatted. Let's face it, formatting is better. Maybe that's something to add to the prompt. Make it one single thing. Usually it does, so I don't understand why I did that. Now, it actually knows my content because I actually had used it to help me write the content. So it's probably going to put in the right content. That's okay. Then we mosey over to tilde, right? Oops, I had it over there because I was testing it before. Okay. So we need to add a new, and we need to add, right, an HTML snippet. We've already seen that. Go to content, paste it in, hit save and close, go to publish, open page, and let's see if it works. Oh my goodness, it actually works, right? All right, so first of all, it took some liberties with that. It also made everything serif, despite the fact that the rest of ours is sans serif. Now the thing is, if we're going to be putting in this builder, we do want to use the styles that we have here. So, you know, we'd have to go ahead and probably, you know, fix that up. But let's see. I think it looks pretty good for now. Yeah, I don't really have a lot of problems with this. Now I realize what I want. I want everyone to have a different colored background when I flip the card. And let's see, I don't like the liberties it took with this. Probing bill, long narrow bill, spearing bill, sharp dagger-like bill. I don't know, actually I kind of like the content it made. I'm ambivalent, right? I don't like when it changes content on me. I'm going to leave it because honestly, it seems fine to me, but yeah, let's leave it. So we got to figure out how to make this look like the rest of our code here. So let's go over here and let's say inspect. Well, what if it was wrong? Actually, let me stop for a second. What if something was wrong? You wanted to change something. We got two choices. You can either rewrite some of the code yourself, or you can ask for changes, right? So again, I put in here, right? If something's, well, first of all, if it wasn't working, right, you can ask it to fix specific problems. If you know, you want to change things, you just tell it like these are the things I want. Okay, so let's talk about bringing in the images before we do anything else. Right now, what'd I do? Right, I have this one image. Where did I get that? I actually already uploaded it to tilde. Now, if we're making most HTML things, like the image has to be somewhere. It's not just, it has to be like on a server and served. And tilde obviously is our hosting, so it serves things. how do we get an image in there? And the answer is, how do we get it in custom HTML? The answer is to actually just kind of this trick. Go ahead and add an image, content, you upload a file. So if you look in our tutorial assets, you'll see we have this one image, heron, 6.3 megabytes. That is nonsense for a size to serve over the internet. So watch this. Now we could prep it in Photoshop or whatever. Instead, I'm going to just upload it to Tilda, hit save and close. Here's another trick. Tilda will also make sizes based on how big it really needs to be. So I'll go to settings, and we know this is small on their thing here. So for width, I'm going to go from auto, turn it off auto, and say, yeah, make this. Like, right, that's about as big as we need for our flip card. Let's hit save. Let's hit publish. Let's go to the page. And then let's find it, and let's control click on it, or trackpad click on it, two finger click, say open image in new tab. And we want this one. Sometimes it accidentally, for some reason, opens up the non-optimized version, but you notice it changed it to a WebP type format. So I'm going to grab that, right? And so coming back to our Tilda, we'll close this. We'll trash that. We'll go into content, and we're going to find the spearing bill. So where is the spearing bill? Do we have a spearing bill in here? Doesn't matter yet. I'm just going to go ahead down here to filtering bill, right? So I'm going to say spearing bill. I'm going to change. So again, this is the text, right? So these are the HTML things that are kind of marking up our content and making them do what we want. And so we put, you know, long sharp bill, and then we'll find the image, right? So here's the image, so the cardinal image. We'll change that. We'll take the alt text and we'll say great blue heron bill close up. I don't know why I made it all uppercase. Then we got to fix the rest of the content here. So if we let's just go over here to our content, right? Here we go. So long dagger like, oh, I did have text. So maybe that's, oh yeah, I did have two places of text. Why did I not think I had two places of text? Right, so long dagger like bill. Long sharp bill that helps bird strike fish, right? So I'll say right here in here. I don't love that these are all spans. These should be like P tags and things, but whatever. Right, so that's spelled wrong. Birds with this bill, we already have that text, so let's go herons and egrets, right? Because this is marked differently to be bold. So I'll just replace the birds. Photo credits, right? I'll just grab all of that. And we'll put that in there, right? We'll hit save and close. We'll publish. We'll view. And there it is. There's our image, right? So that would be easy. Okay. So what do we have to do? We have to change all these. But wait, we actually had 7, not 6. Let's actually just test it. Mobile, is it working? Yeah, it's working great, right? So yeah, we actually had 7. So that's where that repeatable pattern comes in. So let's go back to our custom block builder, go into content, and go look at what a thing looks like, right? So it has item 5, item 6, right? So watch this div right here. So if we're going to go add it to the end, just be aware of this div. So that div is probably wrapping all of our cards. So you see it gets highlighted over here. So be really careful that you never remove things. So I'm going to go ahead just to that end and give myself some space so I don't screw it up. Then I'm just going to grab where it's commented. So these are HTML comments. Notice you don't see that on the page. And we'll paste that in. I'll just say item 7. And this one I'll say item 7. Now, I know that this is going to be built with CSS Grid, and it'll maintain the 3 per row. I'm pretty sure. Now, could sometimes doing this screw up and change the layout? And the answer is yes, right? So, okay, we're going to add this other one. We're going to, let's just find whatever. Chiseling bill. We'll take the last one, right? So chiseling bill. So chiseling bill's already there. Oh, we already have all that content there. So I'm just going to change the image. We're going to have to eventually go in and change all the images, right? And you're probably not going to get the HTML the way it comes for me. I probably should have kept myself a copy for you to look at, but we'll let you just figure it out a little bit. So we'll place this in here. As always, I like to make sure the alt text is correct, right? So, what is it? Pileated woodpecker bill close up, right? That's fine, right? So we'll hit downy woodpecker, red belly. I'll just say woodpeckers. I don't like the text to put in, right? Save and close, publish, open page, right? And there it is. It's there and it's perfect. So now we could be pretty much done, except for, right, I don't like the serif stuff. So why don't we actually have, we could go in and change things. There's another thing I want, right? I want to show you how to change like colors. And where's the opportunities for colors? Probably on the back cards. So let's actually have ChatGPT do a little more help for us. So what we're going to do is close. Let's go in here to content. Let's grab it all and copy it, right? Because this is the important part. We don't want it to start with what it has here because we started editing it. So we're going to say, okay, I need to I'll say revise this code, but I have changed it. So start with my changed code that I'll paste. I want to add individual background colors to each card. Please use CSS variables. I also want the typography to be sans serif fonts using tilde. What is the name of the tilde font here? Hold on. Let's see this. Here we go. Inspect. Computed. Font family. Tilde sans. So I'm going to grab this. So they must have a custom font here. Using tilde sans as the preferred sans serif. It'll give a font stack and back off to other things. Let's see, is there anything else I want to do with that? No. Here is the code. Oh no! I had cut and pasted tilde sans. Gotta go run back over here, hit command copy, bring it back over here, hit command paste. It'll kind of paste it in this thing because it's pretty long. Hit that. Here we go. I can actually cut and paste this stuff into our icon folder. All right, so it's done writing it. I'll copy it. I'll put it over here. I'll make sure I have everything selected. Command A, right? Command V to paste. I'll save it. I'll publish it. I'll open the page. And I'll come down and look at us. We've got tilde sans, right? That's the default. If we had art directed the page and done everything, we could change it. Yeah, and so now it's looking better. And we have different colors on the background, seemingly. But what if I want to change some of those colors? It just picked colors. Now, it picked decent colors because this is obviously very readable. How do we change colors? Like, these are some basic things you need to know how to do. Let's actually jump over to this coding basics, right? So what do you need to know, right? Well, again, we already started looking at this. What is how does HTML work, right? So we put it in there. We saw the commented snippets, right? This is what CSS looks like. The important thing is, let's go down here. Simple CSS fixes you should be able to make, right? Like change a color, change text size, what have you. So we can go in and change the color. So let's go back over to tilde, close, and let's read through. So it looks like it's got, well, this is the color of the card back text. So if I didn't want it to be that color, I could change that right there. So we need a hex color. How do you find a hex color? A million different ways. Adobe, right? Actually, let's go to a site you saw in color.adobe.com, right? Oh God, you keep changing every time I go to this website. It is something different. Okay, we got there. Right, so I can come in here and try to start figuring out colors. So I'm just going to grab any hex color because I'm just going to copy that hex color just because I need a color. Now let's go back to tilde and let's look around more. So where do we have, should be up here, background card muted, card. So where are you putting it? Because I didn't put it up top. Let's get into being able to look at this. So I'm going to have to find where it put those. So let's go look at a card and see what it's got here. Here we go. It actually put these here for whatever reason. Oh, I see what it did. It spaced them. This is weird. I would never have built it that way, right? But this has different colors, and then you can set the individual text color. And then it changes it as it goes down the page. Boy, I don't like the way it coded that. That is not great. But anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and just paste that one in here. I would have never done it that way. I would have done something else, but that's okay. I'm going to hit save code. Again, I don't always agree with what AI does. It works though, right? So let's open the page. So if you remember, we grabbed like a minty green color. So now when I click here, there it is. It's a minty green color. The only thing I have to worry about is making sure, right, I have my color contrast. So we could always check that out, right? So color contrast checker. Let's find any of them, right? The background was that one. Our foreground is, well, if we look over here, we saw close content. Right, so where was our card background context, right? It was right here. Actually don't need the hex code for this. So grab that, paste it in. 11.1 to 1, we are sound as a pound, right? We see we get that passes on all things, right? So that's a fine color to use. And that's it. That is pretty much making it. Now, you know, if we ran into problems and had to change the code and change things, the last thing you really need to do is just put in the right images and content, and you will be done with this. Or we can just leave it as is because who really cares? All right.